Sand is a particularly challenging terrain and can vary widely in the levels of flotation and grip it provides. It illustrates contrasting sand types using the desert sands of Dubai and the volcanic sands of Iceland. In these conditions, the equipment you carry with you must also be carefully considered. Dynamic Stability Control, DSC, should be switched off in this driving environment, as this will give you access to more power when you need it. If your vehicle is fitted with Terrain Response, Sand Mode will adjust the DSC settings accordingly. You should carry a tyre pressure gauge and air compressor, as reducing the pressure in your tyres will help you get the best flotation on soft sand. When reducing tyre pressures, be sure to follow the manufacturer's guidelines on how far they can be safely deflated, and be sure not to misplace your dust caps. The difference this will make to your vehicle's performance is remarkable. But remember that reducing tyre pressures can damage tyres while on firm ground and can compromise on-road performance. Dunes are typically much steeper on their leeward side. Your gentle ascent may disguise a sudden drop beyond the summit. When approaching a sand dune, in this case a volcanic sand dune in Iceland, if you cannot see over the top, it's vital to make a check of the terrain ahead on foot. If you're uncertain of the lie of the land, it's safer to back off and seek an alternative route, rather than to risk driving your vehicle into a hazardous position. In soft sand, the front wheels can dig in if stopping suddenly, making it difficult to move off. Always stop as gently as you can, and remember always to park on level ground or with your vehicle facing downhill, as starting on an uphill gradient on sand is very tricky. Pull away with minimal throttle to further reduce the chances of wheel spin. Sometimes getting stuck in sand is unavoidable. If you're not driving in convoy and don't have another vehicle to tow you out, consider what recovery options you have available. In this case, a shovel and air jack. To use an air jack in this scenario, first clear some sand away from the vehicle underside. Then tuck the jack under the body, avoiding contact with the hot exhaust or sharp protrusions. And ensure the exhaust tube is securely attached. If you're considering using a mechanical jack, use a solid wide base to spread the load and prevent sinking into the sand. Inflate the air jack with the exhaust and fill in the holes which have formed under the wheels before then deflating. If you've chosen to carry sand ladders as part of your equipment, you could position these under the wheels while they're unladen to provide additional support and traction if you're traveling on particularly soft sand. Reversing out is usually the best method of continuing progress. Remember that it's best to travel with another vehicle wherever possible, as towing is usually the quickest and easiest method of recovery. Whether you're on the volcanic sands of Iceland or the expansive desert of Dubai, the technique for climbing sand dunes is identical. When climbing dunes, it's particularly important to have enough momentum. The surface offers only limited grip, but using too much power when on the slope can cause your vehicle to dig in and become stranded. To recover from this common situation, select reverse gear and move gently back down the slope. Stop with the vehicle pointing downhill if possible before you attempt the climb again. Attempting the dune with more momentum will often get you to the top more easily. Take a fresh route avoiding previous tracks, as this will reduce the drag of the wheels. Remember not to back off the power until you are on more level ground. Descending dunes requires a different technique compared with conventional downhill driving. Try to keep off the brakes when coming down the dune, as their stopping power can cause the front of the vehicle to dig into soft sand. Hill descent control should be switched off, as this system relies on the brakes. If your vehicle is fitted with terrain response, this is done automatically when you select the sand program. The safest progress use a low gear and keep the power on, so reducing the risk of sinking into the sand. First gear may provide too much engine braking, so in this case we have used second in low range, enabling a safe and controlled descent. As with a conventional slope, the fall line will provide the safest route. It isn't always possible to avoid side slopes, but if you can find an alternative route, take it. There is a real danger of sliding sideways on the sand, which can result in you becoming stuck as you dig into the soft ground. This will also increase the angle of side tilt, which in extreme situations could result in a rollover. Should you find yourself in this situation, steer down the slope and use a gentle throttle to regain control of the vehicle. Never steer uphill, as this can make the vehicle less stable. As a general rule, try to tackle dunes straight up or straight down, and minimize time spent on side slopes where it's possible to do so.